Call the meeting to order. This is the August session of the Black Mountain Board of Aldermen. This time I would ask you to turn off your beepers and telephones, if you would, please. Matter of fact, I believe mine is on. Good, we'll stand and do a pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for our invocation, which tonight is Pastor James Myers from Biltmore Baptist East Campus in Swan North. If you would come up to the podium.
Thank you, guys. Let us pray. Lord God, we thank you so much for the freedom that you've given us, Lord, the freedom that comes through you and through your Son, Jesus Christ, the freedom that we have here in this great country, the men and women who've made that possible. God, we thank you for their sacrifice. And God, I thank you for those that are gathered in this room. Lord, the decisions that'll be made in here each and every month. I pray for your guidance. I pray for your blessing to continue to watch over this town, Lord. We thank you for the way that you've provided. Lord, I lift up those that serve us faithfully, fire departments, police departments, God, and the men and women, Lord, who make this a great place to live. We ask for your blessings, your safety, your provision, and protection. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. I think all of us look upon Black Mountain as a wonderful place to live, but I truly believe that you can build a quality of life anywhere. But here I think our citizens and I know our town government has strived to build it a quality of place. And we have a lot of natives here that have remained here and really helped to build us to what we are today. But at the same time, over the years, we've become a retirement community. And we've had a lot of retirees who've moved into Black Mountain area. And we're very thankful and blessed that they didn't retire, that they become very active in our community to help us build a quality of place here. So tonight we're going to recognize one of those retirees who came to Black Mountain and he did not slow down. And as I read this, you will understand what I'm talking about. Whereas John DeWitt was born in Holland, and after World War II, he and his family immigrated to Linden, Washington. And whereas John is the middle child of 5 boys who learned English in kindergarten and can still speak with a Dutch dialect, we'll try to correct that, and make it hillbilly over the years. And whereas Mr. DeWitt received his undergraduate degree from Calvin College in Grand Rapids, Missouri, his master's from George Washington University, and his doctorate from Florida State University. And whereas John and his wife, Andrea, lived in Pensacola, Florida for 36 years, where he was active in the education field, serving on the school board for his district, as well as working in special education. And whereas he and Andrea have been married for 46 years and have 2 grown daughters, Kirsten and Jennifer, and 2 granddaughters who John dotes over a lot. And whereas John's career has mostly been centered around involvement with children, especially those with learning disabilities, and being active in areas of adoption agencies, grants, and research. Whereas John has always been involved in his community and is currently president of the Rotary Club of Black Mountain, chair for fundraising for the Town Square Project, organizer of the Welcome Table in Black Mountain, chair of the McCall Curriculum Committee, Montreat, chair of the Black Mountain Recreation Commission, and volunteer assistant to the Montreat College president. And whereas John has been recognized this year for his outstanding dedication to volunteer service and leadership by receiving the Kiwanis Club of Black Mountain, Swannanoa 2013 Community Service Award and the 2013 Rotary John D. Abernathy Community Service Award. This gives him the distinct honor of being the only one to receive both those awards in the same year. Now therefore I, Carl Bartlett, Mayor of the Town of Black Mountain, do hereby proclaim August the 12th, 2013 as John DeWitt Day. John, you're welcome to step up there and give us about a 30-minute speech on what a great place this is.
I have some bricks to sell.
It never slows down.
No, thank you. I am so humbled by this, and to the Kiwanis Club and to the Rotarians. It's both great organizations, and to be recognized by them, I so much appreciate it. And to the Aldermen, thank you for the recognition. This is absolutely the greatest town to live in, and it is so much fun just to be part of this town and to be able to contribute to it. It's just a passion, and I love this town, and thank you all for the tremendous recognition. Thank you.
Thank you. This time we'll have citizen comments. The first is Tom Gill. Would remember to hold your comments to 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Tom Gill, 110 Walnut Street. I just want to give a brief update on the Town Square project and where we are today. First of all, we attended the Sourwood Festival, John and I, spent the whole weekend down there, and we had a wonderful time. We sold about 140 bricks. I don't know the number of people we talked to. Throughout the weekend, people expressed their support of this project and how excited they are to see it being built. And this is not only from residents in Black Mountain, but also the surrounding area and countless people that came by who vacation here, who have summer homes here or winter homes here, but love Black Mountain. We sold a lot of bricks to them as well. So it was really a great opportunity for us to be out there and see what's going on. Up to, as of August 7th, last week, we had about $331,000 in cash and pledges. We have another $240,000 bequest, and just thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in gifts in kind. And I want to just name a little bit of this to you today. First of all, the Southern Concrete, Grovestone Sand and Gravel, and Harris Construction Company, Buckner Plumbing, Mountain Landscapes, Mitchell Fields, S&M Mechanical, Hertz Architecture, Civil Design Concepts, TLR Consulting Services, Kudzu Branding, the Black Mountain News, B.H. Griffin, Brown Farms, and I'm sure others that we weren't able to think about just right off the top of our heads in a meeting we had. These are companies that have come forward and said, how can we help with this project? And they're donating materials, they're donating time, and seeing some really cool things happen. Right now, the restroom is in process. As you know, that was a $50,000 grant that came to us through the county. And Alderman Collins has worked real hard to help us find contractors who are willing to work up there on that project, many of them at no cost to the town or no cost to the project at all. It's really amazing to see how the town is coming together to build this space. The next thing that we're going to do is work on this area right down here at the corner of State Street and Montreat Road. This is a water feature right in here. This is where the majority of the bricks are going to go. And of course that sidewalk and curb area that needs to be done around there. At the same time, we're going to be looking at finishing the infrastructure in this area for the parking lot. Now, what's amazing about this entire parking area is only going to cost the project about $8,000 because of gifts in kind that were given by Grovestone, Southern Concrete, and Harris Paving. So it's that kind of working together as a community that is seeing this project come to pass and come to fruition. So for the rest of us in town, it's time for us to stand up to the plate and make our mark on the square. It's happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Next is Phil Bassesi.
Phil Bassesi, 15 Highview Drive. Tonight I just want to speak about one topic, and that is sidewalks. The conclusion is that sidewalks are the #1 energy conservation measure if we do our cost-benefit analysis community-wide rather than in the selfish interest of individuals. 2, they build community. people walking on a sidewalk might end up stopping in a local store. People in their cars are going to leave town and go to Walmart. So those are the benefits of sidewalks. I come to a conclusion of some areas where they're really needed. Hiawassee, from North Fork to Lake Tomahawk. You stand a better chance of getting hit by a car than you do a golf ball when you're going down Hiawassee. That's a road that shouldn't be walked on. Rhododendron, from North Fork to State Street. It's a nice straight shot, not a place where you should be jumping in a drainage ditch to avoid a car coming by. Blue Ridge, from Community Garden past the apartments to Craigmont, put a walk in front of Carver Center. Any community that has a good, complete streets for people to bicycle, to walk, to push wheelchairs, or any mode of transportation they want, just to get around and talk to their neighbors, is a better community. Thank you.
Thank you. Elaine Lucenizer?
Elaine Lotzenheiser, 410 Avena Road. I'm just voicing several of the things that I have heard, both at some meetings here, the Ad hoc Golf Committee, and several other meetings, and rumors that we've heard that you all are still considering buying back the contract or buying out the contract from Billy Casper's maintenance group. And I'd like to say, if you have the money to buy that, I'd rather see you pay down some of the debt that we have on the town square. I'd like to make that the top priority. And if you can't do that, then at least don't charge the taxes that you're going to charge us this year. Thank you.
Ron White?
I'm Ron White, 279 North Fork Road, right next door to Carl. He lets his house try to block some of the golf balls off the cabin there on the 11th green. I'm here tonight primarily because of recognition of John as a Rotary Club president, and I appreciate the work that he has done here in our community as well as through our Rotary Club. I also was thinking in terms of, I like the fact that he's helping raise money for the park. And that crossed my mind from the standpoint that if you do find extra money, I remember Carl found some money in the budget he thought could be applied to the, repairing the park. If you do come up with extra money in the budget, I would really appreciate it if you could apply that to the paying off the loan. Our property taxes, you raised our property taxes to help pay for the land, and businesses can pass their expenses on in their cost. Those of us retired don't have a way to pass it on. So we're dependent upon you to help protect us from ever-increasing property taxes, and if you could go ahead and pay off that loan sooner, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrew Wagner?
I'm here mostly on behalf of the Blue Ridge Arborists Association, which is a new group of arborists in the area, and the Asheville Greenworks and the Black Mountain Urban Forestry Commission. Asheville Greenworks has had the Treasured Tree program in Buncombe County for quite a while now, and they're revamping and going through all the records from their all that they've had filed away from the previous Treasured Tree program, and they're trying to get people to update a lot of those records. So I wanted to come up here and talk to you all and say that, and put it out for everybody in the town, that if there are folks who have trees that have been on the Treasured Tree list, or they think that they're on the Treasured Tree list, to try to get them back in the database. And then also, the city of Asheville is spearheading a project right now called the Asheville Tree Map, and they're basically trying to crowdsource urban forest data for really the entire Buncombe County area, urban areas of the Buncombe County area. And and it's totally free, and you can find out information on ashevilleTreeMap.org, and they have really great directions on how you can measure trees, any tree in your yard, whether it be a small 6-inch diameter magnolia or a really large white oak. That urban forest data is going to be really valuable for everyone in the future to just defend or promote our town or the entire Buncombe County area. And there's not really any data right now in that actual tree map from Black Mountain. And so if we can come together and try to get people to sign on and basically you sign on and you get your own username and you can input as much data as you'd like as a citizen onto the database, and you will get credit for that on their database, and then in the long run we'll be able to look at all of that data and figure out carbon sequestration, total tree canopy cover of the town, and pollution offset / pollen pollution that comes from that tree, all those trees. So it's going to be a really valuable resource if we can help promote it. And I think Black Mountain, because we have such an awesome urban forest in this town, would be a good place to contribute. So I hope that you all are encouraged to participate in the Treasure Tree Program and the ashevilleTreeMap.org. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next is communications from our boards and commissions. First is Urban Forestry Annual Report from Van Burnett. Man, I keep looking for a reality series on TV.
It's coming, Mayor. It's coming. Urban Forestry, we've been working hard, almost as hard as I work at my farm on Saturdays, right before we give our tours to the general public at the Hoppin' Blueberry Farm. But some of the things we're doing, let me ask a question. Does our year end in, am I giving this report up till July of this year?
June 30th.
Of this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I better improvise on some things here. We've done things like field assessments of the redbud trees along the 70 corridor, and we've been trying to keep up to date to that for quite a while. As you know, we have trees that sourwoods and dogwoods that are planted along 70 from the Ingalls warehouse all the way into town, and we're always looking at trying to improve those things, getting public service busy, helping out, doing things that are great. Those people are great. Oh, there's Jamie, by the way. There you go. We have been also very busy in getting tags for trees down on the Greenway. And we hadn't quite got them all up yet, right?
We started putting some of them up.
Okay. And which has been a good project. We also made a sign that took forever, it seems like, to finally get mounted. That talks about the importance of trees right at the start of the Greenway, and then further we'll have the trees tagged along the Greenway. So we have come up with a proactive plan that included we're coming up with a plan that would include the planter alternatives, replace trees in the downtown district. We're working on that. It was one of the things that they twisted my arm for staying another year to get done, which we're hard at doing. We're looking at maybe getting together with golf course tree maintenance, a little more tree maintenance down there, signage along trails. We're still working on that. We do a lot of volunteer work, community outreach in schools, and we're active with public service on tree pruning, teaching them how to tree prune. We've got 2 arborists on our commission this year, so we're really glad about that. In February, 12 arborists from the Blue Ridge Arborist Association volunteered at the community gardens on a Saturday. And we removed several trees in the southeast corner of the garden to improve light, as well as performing thinning canopy trees on the south border to allow more light to come in. They worked a total of 6 hours in the cold and snow. No pay. Great job they did. Special thanks to Andrew Wagner, all his hard work in coordinating this effort, and also the Fresh Pizzeria for providing lunch for the arborists at half price, and a half price, and the Drippolator coffee people for providing coffee. I'm doing a big plug here for everybody. I see you. But some trees tags were hung along the disc golf course as well too. We have several projects looking forward to in this future, and I think I just mentioned one about the tree planters. We're looking into incorporating Black Mountain into a tree inventory program and redesignating Black Mountain as a tree city. Because since my long tenure as a member of the Urban Forestry Commission, we actually have planted over 2,500 trees in town. So we're doing our part, and we're going to be continuing to do our part. Hardest working people in show business we are, but almost as attractive a town as the Hoppin' Blueberry Farm is. The mayor and aldermen, but I thank you. We'll continue our work.
I assume anyone wants to contact you, they contact the Hoppin' Blueberry Farm.
Yeah, that would be good. That's in Black Mountain. 664-1166. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Brent. We do appreciate the work you guys do.
Thank you.
Housing Commission report, Peter Vasquez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the board. My name is Peter Vasquez. I am the chair of the Housing Commission. I live at 103 Allen Mountain Drive. The Housing Commission began our year taking stock of what areas we felt needed improving, how we could help in that manner. We worked with Linda Giltz and also Brian Taylor with Land of Sky Regional Council, and we examined some of the dynamics of interconnectivity and the relationships between land use plans, transportation, housing plans, and other community-related plans as they work to update us on the progress of Grow Western North Carolina, an organization that we are partnered with here in town. Brian Taylor and Linda also helped us focus on what we saw as obstacles to achieving higher percentages of affordable workforce housing. And Mr. Taylor has asked us, has included several items into the action matrix that the planning board is reviewing and prioritizing as they move forward with their amendments to the comprehensive plan. Some of those items included exploring the best practices from around the state and also peer communities to enhance provisions for workforce housing, implement selected actions from the Consolidated Strategic Housing and Community Development Plan for the Asheville region, and continue working with regional partners like Grow Western North Carolina, Mountain Housing Opportunities, and Habitat for Humanity on developing new housing opportunities here in town. We wanted to encourage landlord and property owners to use internet-based registries such as socialserve.com to advertise properties available for lease. We find that to be a pretty big obstacle, is actually we don't have a real good gauge on what is available for rent. We can sort of get a feeling from property managers or some agencies around, but no real hard numbers on anything. So we're looking at trying to determine best course of action to try to get a list together so we can see what is actually affordable and not. Housing Commission also prepared a short list of items that we see are critical for developing our strategic goals for housing in the future. As I spoke about earlier, formulating a list of vacant or underutilized properties, properties that are for rent or for purchase, managing the acquisition of abandoned, vacant, or tax delinquent properties. It's an interesting concept. If we had some sort of plan as a town to sort of absorb properties that we feel could be used to be set aside for housing business opportunities, agricultural opportunities, and even public spaces. We think if there's a plan and a means for the town to do that, it's a way that we can actively select which projects are in the best interest for the community. We'd like to continue to promote affordable and sustainable resources for energy. We believe that affordability of a home doesn't end at the mortgage or the rent payment, but the cost of operation and its efficiency are also big factors for many individuals. We would like to continue to encourage smaller, more community-oriented development and infill projects. Try to stay away from those big, massive subdivisions that have been bones of contention in the past. We feel that if there's a small project, it's less intrusive on the community, and if there are plenty of spaces available for smaller projects in established neighborhoods with infrastructure. Some may even have sidewalks, that we don't have to build new ones. Continuing to encourage sidewalk and greenway development. We feel we've already had a discussion about that today, or comments about sidewalk development. It does promote community cohesion. We feel it's an excellent way to build a quality of life here in town for local residents to be able to walk around town rather than have to get in their car and go to the grocery store. The Commission also worked on making some recommendations to the minimum housing code, some recommendations for updates to the minimum housing code. We worked with Dan Cordell. We received a bit of advice from Tom Gallagher of Physical Legal Services, who sees quite a bit of cases involving tenant and landlord disputes. And our recommendations are still, I believe, being reviewed by town attorney. So we look forward to making those recommendations to you in the future. We would also like to thank John DeWitt. He gave us a presentation on the grant writing process, and his expertise is invaluable to the town of Black Mountain. So we appreciate all the things that he does for our town as well. Your appointment, I believe you have it on your agenda today to appoint a new member to the Housing Commission, Anna Stearns. That will fill our only vacant seat right now, so we are a fully staffed board, and we look forward to working together on the future of Black Mountain. We meet every third Monday at 6 p.m. here at Town Hall. Any questions?
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very
Appreciate your
much.
leadership on this.
Thank you.
Fire Department report, Fire Chief Steve Jones.
The chief this month? Last month I was just Stephanie's day. Evening, how's everybody? Good, good. Corn looks good. Go ahead. First part of the year, the fire department ran 638 calls in the city, 231 calls in the district, for a total of 869 calls. We're down about 13% from the last report, and that's normal because it's the January, February months, and March is when our calls tend to go down, and we pick back up in the summer, and that was proven true in July. We had a record month in July. We ran almost 200 calls in 1 month, so that was well above what we normally run. We averaged 40 times a month, running more than one call at a time. In the month of July, we ran 78 calls, multiple calls, so it's picking up some. We spent 22,568 hours on calls that quarter. We had a little over $2 million worth of property exposed to fire in the city, with a $41,000 loss, and $446,000 exposed in the district with $151,000. So we're still within our 10% goal. Inspections, we had 364 inspections, business inspections with 22 residential inspections. And then we had 498 public education events happen. a lot of those were this summer. When the summer camps come in, they like to pop in with their kids, and they like to take tours of the fire trucks, and we always give tours to the kids when they come in, so that did pick up this summer as well. We had 6,100 hours spent on training. Part of that training is what we know as the Mount Mitchell Marathon. When we do that marathon, we do a training event through AV Tech, and we start that whole week, and we do training with the rescue part, and we work into the outdoor activity or the exercise, which is the marathon, and we apply what we've learned up on the mountain in case we have any injuries and stuff. So it all works well. We get out and use some of our equipment that we don't get to use a lot, and train with it. And we train with everybody all over the county, so it involves a lot of fire departments. And this summer's been unusually busy for rescues. We've had over 5 rescues in the mountains this summer. We equate that to a lot of the weather issues that pushed, when it would rain, it would push people getting out in the woods later in the afternoons, and somebody that thinks they can leave at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and hike the Graybeard Mountain and back before dark, that just isn't going to happen. So we end up going and getting them and bringing them off the mountain. So we did have a lot more rescues in the month of June. The next picture is the fire truck that got hit out on I-40. It was a little bit east of exit 66, and if you can, the picture's not very good, I apologize, but you can see the right rear corner where it got hit. If that truck hadn't been sitting there would have been 6 of us dead today. If you can see the silver truck right in front of it, that's what hit the truck, and when it hit the corner, it spun the truck around and it kept it from hitting us. So that truck is down at Valley Truck getting repaired. We're waiting on parts from KME to get here. Hopefully within a month we'll get it repaired and get it back on the road. There's the truck that hit us. It was an F-350, and you can see where that right front wheel hit the corner of the truck, and that's what caused that truck to spin around and not come into us. It came into that tractor and trailer you see sitting in front of us. Then we had 197 hours spent on volunteer extra duty hours at the station. People coming in and just helping out, clean, check hose, check off equipment, and that kind of stuff. Any questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Police Department report, Chief Steve Paget.
Good evening. For the Police Department semi-annual report in the first 6 months of 2013, we had 10,293 calls for service, incident reports, 132. We had 507 citation charges. Now, citation charges could be trespass charge, it can be shoplifting charges, traffic charges, and other miscellaneous charges, simple possession and such. We also had 24 DWIs. We had 232 total arrests, 371 total arrest charges, and 82 traffic accidents, 63 being property damage and only 19 personal injury in the 6 months total. Drug violations. We had 78 total drug violations, 65 being misdemeanor, and 13 being felony, and we want to highlight a couple of those drug charges. On the first one here, you'll notice the K9 alerted to a blue towel in a passenger floorboard, a glass jar, which was the kosher deals jar, was located with over half a pound of marijuana inside it. Driver was charged with possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia. Our next violation we want to highlight is the K9 also alerted to a safe near a back seat of another vehicle. Numerous items were located in the safe. The driver was charged with maintaining the vehicle for a controlled substance, trafficking opium, possession of meth, driving while license revoked, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Now, if you look on that bottom right hand, that's the meth, and this is a new way that they're putting food coloring in it to make it look more appealing. Typically, it's an almond type color, and now they're putting different colors or different food colorings in that to make it more appealing to the younger folks. And then another thing is also the opium is something, and heroin is something that we're seeing more and more of. There was some article in the paper about that also, and that's kind of on the uprise in Buncombe County and also other surrounding areas. The last is the canine alerted under a driver's seat of a vehicle. There's a Red Bull can that was located with a false bottom containing 148 tablets of a controlled substance. The driver was charged with possession of controlled substance and possession of marijuana. If you'll notice, the upper left-hand picture is where the bottom of those that Red Bull can actually comes out. This is the second one that we've seen in the last 6 months. So that's becoming a trend also. And typically you'll find that they'll still have the liquid in the unopened portion, and then the bottom portion will be where they're hiding those controlled substances. We had 2,078 training hours. To highlight some of that, we had 2 officers attended North Carolina Justice Academy here in Edneyville and got their certification on hazardous materials. They received their state certification to teach hazardous materials, which is a federal requirement each year. We're really glad and excited that they got that. We were having to outsource that. Now we can do in-service training by having those folks certified, and they can also teach at AB Tech other departments. And as far as their hazardous material that's governed by the federal regulations. Next, we attended the Pause for Kids walk at the Lake Tomahawk, which raises awareness of animal abuse and child abuse. That's something that is near and dear, I believe, to all of our hearts. To highlight both of those areas. And we also participated in Operation Medicine Drop. This provides people with a safe way to dispose of unwanted or expired prescription medications while preventing accidental poisonings and protecting our environment. This is about the 5th or 6th year in a row, and we have plans to continue that. I think it's a good benefit to our citizens. We also had officers read to students at the primary school. This builds youth relationships with police while promoting reading to our children. We've brought the canine in also, and the children read to the canine, and now we put the police in there, and this is a really good youth building technique. Not only that, we've also worked very closely with the primary and elementary school with all the happenings in the past, updated some different types of safe plans, and also attended the Buncombe County School Board's meeting and got to actually get up and speak in front of them on ways that we could make the primary and elementary school here in our town safe, or safer. Those folks really took our recommendations, and we appreciate that. And last but not least, our reserve hours, we had 1,279 hours. That's a cost savings of $19,811.71. Our reserves come out on numerous events, 4th of July, which we canceled, but also Sourwood, which this event this weekend went over really well. Nothing to report, which is good, but we couldn't do that without our reserves. And we also put 2 new reserves on. On the left is Officer Jacob Calvert. He's a returning military veteran with several tours in Iraq, overseas. And also on the right is Alan Moore, and he's starting a career in law enforcement. He's got family in law enforcement, and he's following suit with that. I think both of these young men will make us great additions in the future. Any questions?
Chief, when vehicles are stopped and you have drugs in them, do we seize the vehicles?
If it meets all the elements, yes. If it meets those elements. And it would have to be a particular amount of controlled substance. A lot of times, DWI, we have seizures on DWI vehicles also. A lot of that goes to the school board, and those monies or those vehicles are auctioned off. Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Thank you, Chief. We just had the fireworks on Saturday night, and I would like to recognize the donors who gave to sponsor that. Hunters and Treasures Pond Incorporated, Roger Brown, Black Mountain Tire Connection, Inc., Bill McGee, Valley Truck Service, Rebecca Harris, State Farm, Agent Jerome Morris, Black Mountain Chamber of Commerce, Black Mountain Savings, Wendell Begley, Eat More Pizza, Chow Time, Al Degano, Graybeard Realty, Chip Craig, Ingles Markets, Danny Barnwell, and Tim and Patricia Rayburn. We thank all those folks for fireworks show. It's really enjoyed by everyone. Consent agenda, Matt?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. You've got some minutes from some previous meetings and some budget sessions that we've had in the last couple of months. You've got a appointment to fill a vacancy on the Town of Black Mountain Library Board. The request there is to appoint Rebecca Word to replace Priscilla Hopkins on the Library Board, and then an appointment to fill a vacancy on the Housing Commission, and that would be a 2-year unexpired term ending in June 30th, 2015, and the recommendation is to appoint Anna Stearns to that.
A motion to approve? Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Under new business, do we have any citizen comments for new business? Being none, you want to address?
Sure. What you've got tonight is on June 30th, we had, or July 30th, the bids came in to extend the sidewalk on Montreat Road all the way to Cotton Avenue. That bid came in, the low bid for that was with the JLS company in the amount of $66,814.50. And so the request, you had 3 bids for that, and so the request is to award the bid to JLS company to begin construction of that sidewalk.
Okay. So motion to approve?
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, just want to make a quick comment about that sidewalk. I don't know how many people, I wouldn't even guess, how many people have commented to me since the word got out that we was going up Montreat Road with the sidewalk. It's really a popular thing in the community.
Yeah, and the sidewalks are, we have taken a lot of them into consideration, and we're doing them on a priority basis. And Montreat Road is a priority. We've had some fatalities on Montreat Road and people being hit by cars. Okay. Unfinished business?
There's none.
None. Attorney, do you have any communications?
No, sir.
Town manager?
The only thing that I would remind you of is that we have the North Carolina League of Municipalities annual conference in October. It's in Hickory this year, and if anybody is interested in attending that, just let Darlene or myself know, and we'll make those arrangements.
The Aldermen, do y'all have any comments?
Yeah, I attended the Empty Bowls over at the Town Garden a couple of weeks ago. And Diane McCall, of course, this is where Dr. Wilson has spent so much time in starting that garden, and it's just developing more and more every year. That was a fundraiser in there to try to go ahead and build a shed to where they can do some canning, teach drying, preserving foods. So I hope that the Recreation Commission and the Recreation Director will come back to us and, with some specifics on this. I think this is something that the board within this next year needs to be looking at. We don't have it in our budget right now for a lot, for the whole thing. But I think that we really need to do it. I think this is something that, you talk about a family activity, you could get the parents and the kids and teaching them after they've grown these vegetables to go ahead and learn the proper ways to preserve them and can them. but I think it's a great project that can be done here in the next couple of years.
Any other comments? Just remember, it's political season, election time. One of the oldest tricks in politics is telling someone, hey, these folks are gonna do wrong. If you work with me, I'll stop it. Together we can stop it. So don't believe all the rumors you hear, or all the stories you hear, all the emails you get. A lot of emails floating around. I'll entertain a motion for a closed session to discuss litigation matters and discuss personnel matters. Have a motion in discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?